Welcome to Talk Flirty Podcast, the podcast where life is reflected through intimate conversation with me, your host, Nikki F. Wet. Welcome back to another episode of Talk Flirty Podcast. Today is Friday, April 5th, 2019. And I know it's unusual for me to put out 2 shows in 1 week, but I figured I'd hit you all with a random Talk Flirty short before we head into the weekend. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that gets sucked into the rabbit hole when it comes to like random Google searches. So I had a few random thoughts on my mind that came to mind. So let me go ahead and I figured I'd share them with you all. Now I don't know I'm not sure where this idea came from. I for some reason I thought that I should just search vacation sex trips. Not exactly sure why that crossed my mind, but since it popped up, I had to figure it out. And I didn't really have any expectations as far as the search results. So I'm pretty sure you guys can guess, because there's clearly a market for the selling or the purchasing of, or the exchange of money for sexual acts, favors. And so when I Googled vacation sex trips, there actually is, I found that there is, in fact, a 4-day escapade called Sex Island, and it's hosted by the company called Good Girls Company. And it's 4 days. It's at a private island. I think it's off the coast of Colombia. And for $5,000 per person, a group of 30 individuals can enjoy. All meals are inclusive. Alcohol is inclusive. There was even the hint of illicit drugs, possibly cocaine. And each person gets 2 of their very own prostitutes. Now, that's how it's marketed. From what I read, all they said was prostitutes. They didn't say, well, the video said girls, but in the text it said prostitutes. And it's marketed as an ultra exclusive and lavish yacht party. And of course, their marketing was removed because it does involve some controversy regarding this sexcapade, but not because of the prostitutes. Prostitution is actually the exchange of money for sex is actually legal in Colombia. However, pimping is not. Pimping is illegal. And I had a few more questions that came up as I was reading this information. And maybe I could offer a few tweaks to their marketing so that they possibly won't have their videos removed from online. Now, the first question I had was, are these women paid separate from the 5K, or are they also all inclusive? It didn't state in the video only that 30 guests and 60 girls. And so I'm thinking, is it similar to how you pay extra for excursions if you're on a cruise, or how you're expected to pay a certain percent as a tip at the end of the trip? Or unless you tell them up front that you want to pay cash. I don't know. That's the first question. The second question was, how are these women selected, or how are they employed, quote unquote, employed? Like, I'm thinking, do they have to pay to participate? Kind of like how an independent contractor, or like real estate or life insurance, you know how they pay for leads. So I'm thinking, do the girls pay in hopes to solicit additional monies from their personal guests, or would they actually be paid like a certain amount per day or per trip? Now, if they are paid, like if they are independent contractors paying, if they're independent contractors paying for leads, then they would be just that. So that they could label them as independent contractors, and they can clean up their marketing and they won't be considered prostitution. Or if they're employed, like casting extras, then that would make them like literal sex workers, and then they would just be employees and not prostitutes. And speaking of sex workers, do you feel Cardi B got a pass for electively drugging and robbing men? Because truly, I don't feel she necessarily did what she had to do. She was just taking advantage of certain opportunities. Do you think we'll be revisiting this Cardi B story in 23 years with the new Cardi B hashtag? I don't know. Leave a comment. Let me know. Let me know what you think about that. So yeah, that was my first random thought. The vacation sex trips. I mean, I wasn't looking to go on a trip myself. I don't know why it just popped in my head. And the last random thought of the day, I was thinking to myself, why do flamingo knees bend backwards when they walk? And so I Googled it, and it's actually that joint that's bending is actually not their knees. Flamingos walk on their tippy toes, apparently. So that's really actually their ankle. And then I Googled and I saw flamingos actually standing on their whole foot. that was weird as hell. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why I needed to find this information out. But since that's their knee or since that's their elbow, or I'm sorry, their ankle, and their knee is actually located closer to their hip, and now I feel like I need to see a flamingo without any feathers, so I can see where their knee actually is. I couldn't find. I didn't do that good of a Google search, so I truly couldn't find a picture of a naked or flamingo with no feathers. So I don't know. I don't know what their knee actually looks like, and if anyone knows or has a picture of a flamingo in the nude, please send it to me, because I would like to know what a flamingo knee looks like. The picture of the flamingo standing on their whole foot, it reminded me of the Proud Family character, La Cienega Boulevardes, when she took her shoes off and she had the most gigantic feet. But yeah, I'm done with being weird and random. But truly, really, if someone has a picture of a nude flamingo, please send it to me, because I would like to know what a flamingo knee looks like. You can send it to Talk 40 Podcast on Facebook, IG, Twitter, or email talk40podcast@gmail.com. That's a wrap. That is a wrap for these random thoughts of the day. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that goes down these random Google searches. So if you have any random thoughts that you have acquired, knowledge that you would like to share that you don't know when a person may need to use it, but knowledge is always power. Send in your random thoughts again to Talk 40 Podcast. If you actually Google vacation sex trips and you find more all-inclusive resorts or escapades, send those to Talk Flirty, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow Talk Flirty Podcast here on Spreaker. You can stream it wherever you like: iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play. Yeah, I will see you guys next week.